Hey everybody, Tasty Snackies here. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to start off by saying that we're going to be changing up the format a little bit. Sean McBee, who used to host the Manadorks podcast with me from a few years ago, sent me an awesome recording of all the stuff he's excited about with the new Lord of the Rings set. And so yeah, I edited the video on top of it, and we're going to be testing out this new format.
Hey, this is Sean McBee, back again talking about Magic the Gathering. Specifically this latest round of, I guess you could call them spoilers, that they just put out through MTG Weekly. They debuted a bunch of cards from this upcoming Lord of the Rings set, and of course, anything Lord of the Rings, I'm definitely down for. Anything Magic the Gathering meets Lord of the Rings, it's got to be the nexus of all awesomeness. I mean, until they do Magic the Gathering and Star Wars, which I kind of hope never happens, because really those two things, no. The Force needs to stand alone from Magic the Gathering and its 5 colors. The Lord of the Rings, I feel like, is flavored nicely with the color pie of Magic, evident in the way they're able to craft different cards, and they make sense. You know, like for instance, the hobbits being little white creatures that are like sort of tempted by evil, so they can have like the black activation on the Frodo card. The fact that Gollum is just black, colorless for like a 3/1 that keeps coming back over and over and over again. No matter how much abuse he takes, he keeps coming back. But one thing I definitely wanted to talk about is the one of one, the One Ring card with the black speech on it. It's something that's only going to be in collector boosters, English language collector boosters. And this is like the chase card of all chase cards. Now, initially I was like, whoever opens this, you know, congratulations, you just got a $10,000 card. Well, that was a sight shy of the actual offer, because I saw on Twitter today that one Dan Bach of Old School Magic fame offered $100,000 to whoever gets the One Ring, and there's some other clauses that go with it, like you can't say that you opened it, you can't say that you sold it to him or whatever. He wants to just acquire the card and hand over the $100,000 for it. He probably would not be doing that if he wasn't going to either take it and turn a profit on it, or take it and keep it in the vault forever. Now, I don't know if he's relying on somebody who's like outrageously into Lord of the Rings or outrageously into Magic the Gathering, or maybe both, to supply the money that he would resell it for. Maybe he wants it for himself, for all I know. $100,000 is the current offer for the one of one serialized The One Ring. Very interesting. This product shows you the difference between how well this is executed versus how like Magic 30th edition, their kind of like throwback to beta that they debuted a little while ago. I mean, the awful just firestorm, shitstorm reception that came from that product. A package of boosters that's effectively $250 per pack that could net you a piece of power with a Magic back that makes it unplayable, effectively Wizards printing their own proxies. And then the rest of the cards are like beta, but in modern border. Ugh, yuck, miss me with that. In this case, they have something that's incredibly rare. Some people on Reddit, by the way, again, talking about the serialized one of one, the One Ring, said that whoever gets it should recreate the scene from Mount Doom where Frodo goes to toss it into the drink, as it were. I don't agree with that, man. I think it's probably something that should be either put in, you know, Beckett graded immediately and held forever. This is not something you're just gonna throw into a dragon sleeve and put in your commander deck. I mean, this isn't a Brewster's million sort of situation here. We're not trying to just blow through a bunch of money. Unless there's some crypto bro out there that's gonna buy this up and throw it immediately into his Felder group hug deck or something like that. No, it's an interesting chase. It's an interesting, flavorful, and accurately flavored card for the set. So I think it's a win on Wizards' behalf. A make good for the missteps of Magic 30, which, man, I've seen few things in my life from Wizards that were so hated as that. I mean, like, The controversy surrounding the card stock, that certainly was not well received. Cards pringling up, all that certainly was a big deal for people. But man, the blowback on Magic 30th anniversary was something to behold. I was even wrapped up in it too. I'm still talking about it, obviously. Though I am ready, so ready to see what like Gimli's card looks like. Hopefully he's like a red and white dwarf. That would be pretty cool. Or maybe just a red dwarf, who knows. With some cool abilities. Legolas, I'm sure, will have a card that will be very effective, as he was super OP in the movies. Galadriel as well. Ooh, and Elrond. Ooh, I wonder what Elrond will do. In Lord of the Rings, Elrond actually has one of the rings of power, along with Galadriel. And you know who has the other of the Elven rings? Gandalf. He has the Ring of Fire. I think Galadriel has the Ring of Water, and then Elrond has the Ring of Air. I don't recall all their names specifically, but they all have their own unique powers. All those would be very cool to see. I mean, they've already done Tom Bombadil, and he's a bit of a deep cut, so maybe they'll dip into some of that, or they're doing Lord of the Rings style stuff. Do they get into some of the Silmarillion and some of the way they tee up information in Lord of the Rings based on what was written in the Silmarillion? I mean, obviously the Silmarillion came after Lord of the Rings was written and didn't necessarily like retcon what went on, but will they draw from some of what was depicted in the Silmarillion and put it into the Lord of the Rings set? We shall see. Man, the Nazgul, I'm sure, will be some sweet cards. There were a couple of different forms of the Nazgul as well, so that'll be exciting to see. God, there's just so many different things that they can depict. Of the things that they've shown, I think they have a total of like 12 or 14 cards so far. The White Remand, I think it's called Reprieve or something like that. That card is very interesting because it lets you rebound stuff to people's hands that would otherwise be uncounterable. It's even more powerful than Remand is, and it's in white. Though the more I think about it, that seems like a fine white ability to do something as limited as that of just returning a spell to their hand. But the draw a card part of it is pretty nuts. I think that card is going to be a big player. If my Magic playing Spike Instinct is worth a damn anymore, I would think that card is very powerful. So it remains to be seen whether things like the One Ring actually see some play. I saw various things today that were like, oh, this thing's going to draw you a bunch of cards. Yeah, but it's pretty slow. Does it have an immediate effect when it comes into into play? Yes, it does, giving you protection from everything, giving you a turn, and then letting you, add counters to it to then draw cards. It seems like it's something, but I just don't know if it's enough to make standard play or play as we see it in today's very active, very streamlined metagame with how creatures and stuff are made now. Because like back in the day, certainly that card could make the cut in a deck, but in your modern creatures with wall of text standard, I don't know if that one quite makes the cut. It would be good to see some cards that are a little less complicated nowadays too, because the wall of text that's on so many cards nowadays is a little off-putting, even for people who've played for quite a while. Like when people are like, what does this card do? And they're like, just read it. You're like, I don't know if I have that much time. It's starting to become an issue, and print size is getting smaller and smaller, and people's eyes are getting worse and worse. Either way, I'm excited to see what else comes out for this Lord of the Rings set. Thank you very much for listening. Let me know what you think in the comment section of wherever this is hosted, and game on.